at the 21st degree, which is a heartfelt degree of our emotions, the moon, and our heart, the sun, being number 1. So when our heart and our feelings come together, our wishes become delicious. What we believe is augmented in our chalice. And being that the moon is in its opposing sign, Capricorn, emotions, they really want a prime directive, but the leadership of Saturn is streaming in a new vibration. And the feelings of our home feels as if it's at home. It really wants a home life. It's being restructured to a new emotional foundation. But not only that, it's going to be otherworldly incredible, being the brightest illumination in the sky. It's a supermoon. So full moons are, at the moment, they're a way to access the hidden streams of our emotions. They are like the final ingredient to the sauce. Inshallah and Shay. Woo! My house is shaking. It's all good. It's a Musing Monday. And there goes Diddy. Saving the day. It's my kind of a day. So have you set up your emotional foundation? Put your creative juices into the emotional field for manifesting and creating. So whatever action that you took yesterday, continue adding those ingredients to the sauce, the nurturing ones to the emotional waves and the frequencies. So with that is feelings like bubbling up. That is Cancer, bubbling emotions like a spring bubbling up to the surface, validating them. And by shifting our aspects in our surroundings, even in our day-to-day moment in the now, by doing so, our feelings, the ones we become destined to have, become nurtured inside of us. So it's like planting seeds in a fertile soil. It's normal to feel vulnerable, absolutely, when we're in this creation mode. And birthing new ingredients, it can feel extremely extreme, intense, being open to feel what we truly authentically feel. But it's also wise, as always, boundaries and protection. It's usually the thing we don't do on whatever level we're doing about and around what we are creating. Blocking out the negative emotions that may disrupt our emotional foundation. Usually it's people around us, outside of us, but sometimes it's that inside voice that's not so kind either. So protect the seeds that you've been planting. And with that, welcome to the Daily Snippet. I just noticed earlier that it was 11/11/11. July 11th, 11/11. So 7 to the 11. But with that, welcome to the Daily Snippet. I am your host. I'm a practicing holistic shaman and medium, and an otherworldly life coach, a subtle energetic surgeon. I kind of coined that myself, but I do go with the term holistic Sha'medium, and my intention is to utilize the power of the indigenous technologies, the elemental realms, the elemental beings, our original divine blueprint to navigate our soul's harmonic, the star that I believe we are, through the realms of the elementals, the elemental highway, the elements, into the imaginal realm, through the gateway of the shamanic portal, the cosmos, subtle energies, elements, and so much more. I generally often go more with the beings that are otherworldly, but I do offerings, prescriptions, and rituals to really add to the juice of your personal container, your personal medicine, your prime directive, just assisting you in discovering your inner genius, your personal medicine, the star that you are. I believe everyone's a star. And to literally shine on brighter, the magical being that resides within you. So that star is illuminated bigger and brighter every day and in every way. My name is Tonya D, and welcome to my virtual medicine room. So we are on the rise to a bounty of a full moon. Super excited about the sauce there, but the moon right now is in the season of Sagittarius. So this is what we believe. To me, it's the galactic universe. I believe in the bounty of the miraculous, the unseen. And have you already noticed the big light in the sky, the big bright moon? I sleep outside, so it was super juicy last night. Had that moon to moon conversation. And are you beginning to add emotional self-care as your main ingredient in your own cosmic soup bowl, your own sauce? What habits are you releasing, and what habits are you elevating or initiating? And are you taking an action to create an emotional foundation? Literally, something I've been working on for probably lifetimes. Just sparking inner joy by taking an action. It's like rinse and repeat. But it actually takes 40 days to really knock it out and create a new habit. with whatever it is you're doing. And it might just feel like you're in the in-between doing the dance, the step. So this really is initiation. It's a ritual to put the changes into action, the transformation, to really see the seeds of creation manifest and become the fruit, the dangling fruit. Being that we are in the season of the moon, everything's dinging around here, my phone included, and the house. But being that we're in the season of the moon, Cancer, our feelings, we really need to be supportive, loving, and trusting, and holding the faith, the line of faith, literally opening a new doorway that may just feel a little otherworldly. For example, like if you choose to quit smoking, drinking, eating unhealthy foods like as of yesterday, or start a new routine to get moving. It's like the ritual habit that we began keeps flowing and streaming forward, transitioning and moving us forward. And the forces of adversity often show up trying to sideswipe the new. So you may feel uncomfortable because we get settled in the familiar, the ways that are familiar, right? Like what we've always done. So be kind, compassionate, and patient, even maybe one or all three, and release the inner doubts. Love yourself more. Have faith in your inner garden, in your inner self. So you may need to do more things that are nurturing, possibly more self-care. And with that, if you have yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Authentically Heartfelt, please do. Tonya D, everything's Tonya D, have you noticed? But hit the bell button so you're notified. And also, if you don't mind, commenting or sharing, not only does it get you a message for your day to get you on your way or possibly the weekend, but it also assists with the algorithm to echo me out with like-minded musers in the galactic universe that are like yourself, who may also muse about insights of the other world, the world of spirit, the realm of the elementals, source, the beings that are otherworldly. Maybe they do need an offering and a prescription and something otherworldly. And you can also find me on other social platforms like TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and of course my podcast, Musing with Tonya D, which my last one was all about the divine feminine, for those of you that did connect with a otherworldly feminine of the divine who was actually once on the earth plane. That was kind of the goal there. But if your soul wishes to dive down deeper into the realms of the other world, head on over to my Musing Corridor. This is my digital library in the sky, where I really have some amazing options to assist you and to guide you. I really am your shamanic assistant. I truly believe we're all our own healers, but sometimes we need an otherworldly perspective. So, how was your magical weekend? Mine was otherworldly. Could have gotten myself in some trouble. Good trouble, of course. That's just what I'm going with. Hey, these are our choices. So I want you to muse about these while I ramble forward. We got strawberries, blueberries, and grapes. I did buy blueberries the other day. I almost put them in the freezer so I could snack on them later. But the weekend was like a magic of spirit in the water, spirit everywhere, right? But with that, just a few announcements. If you're tuning into my Musing Moon meditation, or if you haven't quite yet, the full buck moon is out on the highway and the cosmic energies are swirling. And today, actually, we have Pluto, the return of Pluto to the United States. This is a transition of power, possibly a change in power, a new way of sheltering. The towers of power fall or fail, which is kind of what's happening in a weird way. But we may like be reborn, something new, like the rising of the phoenix, a declaration of freedom. Like, are we independent or are we dependent? And what does that feel like? What does that look like? So as we're on our way to the full moon in Capricorn, the story to transform, it's almost as if it's faded history, like to a new timeline, a new alternate timeline. And the main ingredient herself, the goddess, the moon, it's like, do we feel it? Are the great leaders returning? Are they shape-shifting? That's kind of what it feels like, water shapeshifts. And can you imagine a future that you can actually believe in? Like you can see and you believe it, heartfelt. What would that even feel like? The winds of change on the horizon, like old paradigms, old systems, government, leadership, economic, corporations, Capricorn stuff, right? So are you going to allow an outside force to determine how you value yourself on the inside? It's a question to ask ourselves. And the bounty of emotions, like getting sucked into the void, the 0 point field. Water is a conduit, right? And spirit is also online. So it's like new faith in spirit, to be sure. With that, if you do listen to my Musing Buck Moon meditation, be sure to tag me when you do and share your insights. And I also have what I've coined right now that might change, an energetic meditation circle. I've done one about cleansing our cosmic chalice, but this upcoming one is in the season of Leo. So this is the heart of the chalice. Our sun is going to be highlighted, the heart and the star that we all are streaming live. Be sure to register for that or reserve your space. And also I have the Soliciting Solitude and Investment in You. It's a one-time price of $88, and this really is a library of growing meditations that you can tune into like right off your phone through an app. Really simple, just easy. You can hear me speaking to you loud and clear. But comment what you're speaking to today here. I have some new messages I'm going to play with, so this truly is going to be otherworldly fun. But again, your 3 choices are the strawberries, blueberries, and grapes. So go ahead and comment your choice on the highway. But transformation happens literally on the highway when we reinforce or hold the line, the boundary on our heartfelt desires and intentions over and over and over, not allowing the outside forces of adversity to knock over our chessboard. So it's like following through on our emotional foundation, things that are resonating in our heart, our personal investments within ourselves, taking shape, form, energy to matter, loving and protecting our heartfelt investment stuff inside of ourselves, and like taking them to, I was going to say the basket, the harvest, just flowing into abundance and valuing the process of seeing how far we've actually come, and even protecting the outcome from our own negative thoughts or negativity within our environment. Sometimes we have to be the force and also recognize what forces are trying to dismantle how far we have come. So it's like being laser beam focused. It almost feels like the third eye kind of thing. Focusing on what we do value in our new action, characters, and behaviors, and what it's going to bring to us. And think about what you're going to gain from creating a new self-care ritual in our day-to-day life. And truly being mindful of how far literally we've already come. You know, maybe track it back a year ago, 6 months ago, 3 months ago, a week ago, and really see the rewards. Be grateful for your efforts, your own heartfelt ones, that have really brought you to where you are. So when we feel abundant and accept it in our heart space, it literally starts threading in and becoming a new habit, creating a new living style, a new lifestyle. And feel the gratitude, thanking the universe for showing us the growth that we've already come to. Feel the feelings and the sensation when it arrives. You feel differently. And know, you know, the universe only gives us what we can authentically handle. However, if we continually pour a negative emotion into our chalice, streaming it into the heart, that's going to be the outcome that we generate, right? So while you've had time to choose our options here, comment your choice, because I'm taking her down. The choices on the elemental highway. Oh, that's a pretty good picture I took. It looks a little crooked, but it's all good. We've got a Yin Wood Ox of a day, 2 earths, the goat and the ox, and they're actually opposing elements. One's the southwest, the other's the northeast corners in the Chinese 4 pillars, the outer world. These two don't get along. They conflict. They butt heads. 2 yin earth energies, but it's dry earth. Dry earth is our dominant energy. So there's lots of yin earth. Our day is rooted. Even though the earth is dry, we still have roots. But the yang water and the yang wood on the year, the tiger, is really helping out our day. The tiger breaks up the earth even more, allowing for the big water to like seep in to the earth herself. So we're going to have some fertile soil with the yin earth, and we have a meadow with the yin wood, and we also have a forest with the tiger and a big lake or a pond with the big water there. And we also have a nice little candle to warm up our day. It's a very yin energy day though, only yang in the year. So this is our inner world, inner values, core values, kindness, passion, and contemplation. Contemplating. But water and some stones maybe to guide the water, creating a pathway kind of like when you water the fields or you're irrigating them. You could use soil, but that's what I was seeing this morning in vision was like a farm, the trenches on a farm where you water and nurture the fields. But metal and water, those are the needed elements, just trimming the grass and nurturing the soil with water today. So our day actually benefits in all aspects. We just don't have any metal. We do have metal in the ox at the base there. It's in storage, so we could break that out. Actually, the goat does break that out. Now that I see that out loud, I'm hilarious. I crack myself up sometimes. But our super talent is the altruist. It's a high efficient altruist of a day. So this is the well-being of the other. That's what's online, especially those that are less abundant, maybe poor, sickly even. The need of desire to actually help others. That's kindness from the wood energy. But even like I've said before, it's the ability to write songs that create the story or the ballad addressing social injustices, the stories through words. And the original talent of the altruist is the analyzer. So for me, it's that think of that statue, deep thinker. That's kind of what comes to mind. And then as far as characters that play, people that resonate with this super talent are Mother Teresa, Pope Francis, Richard Branson, I found curious, and Bernie Sanders. They all have this super talent. So you can kind of see how that ballad plays out. You can kind of feel what that kind of looks like. So for the messages of the day, who chose the grapes, the strawberries, or the blueberries? You got options. And who went with the grapes? Oh, no, wrong button. I got ahead of myself. Who went with the grapes? I'm getting hilarious with myself. You get the spark of hustle of all things. 17. So 17, which was actually the energy of Saturday, spirit-induced heart. Intuition streams in with our heart. They collaborate together, and then we decide on behalf of the heart and the intuition, like what does my intuition say and does my heart agree? And we can only commit if the heart agrees. So this is the spark of inspiration. It's divine intervention. It's finding our calling, work that actually makes us happy, even having like renewed hope. So the message is actually self-care, which is the frequency of today. That's why I went with these deck. But maybe you're hustling a little too hard. Maybe you're getting lost in the grind. Maybe you're becoming a workaholic or doing both. Manifesting overly busyness where nothing gets done because you're not focused. So it's a time to take the time, or it's a message to take the time to be careful for what we wish for. Sometimes you ever do that? Like, ooh, be careful for what I wish for. Is that really what my heart wants? So we know when inspiration hits us and totally immersing ourselves and our senses in the possibilities, that's the spark of hustle at work. So it's when every cell of our body is like humming that frequency with desire to put something out into the world. And when we feel the whew of that energy that brings new ideas to life, the spark of the hustle feels like a calling, something compelling us, or we're at the threshold, like something that can't be ignored. It's like tapping at our shoulder or third eye. So this message is like full of hope and expectation because it's whispering, the silent sound of whisper, like, yes, it's coming. And yes, you can do this, right? How often do we get in our own way? So spirit is sending the superstar of blessings our way, along with the passion, igniting it. And it's being divinely amplified like the singers in the realms. And I'd be looking for like projects, experiences that are full of excitement and own joy, right? And say yes to those opportunities that feel totally on purpose, that are aligned, right? So if you're feeling overwhelmed by the magnitude of the task, the sacred one, remember that big soulful endeavors usually push us to go beyond the starry limits of what we know authentically to be possible. They push us, right? And this is how we grow. We use the spark of the hustle to evolve and expand because it's our guiding star. It's our star light. So how much space do you leave on your calendar for your own personal sparks of inspiration? What would that be? And are you allowing space for those last minute ideas, inspiration? And what do you do to actively fire your flame of hope? So are you feeling resistance to the word hustle? So it's like, what would an easy kind of fluidity, water, productivity even look like? And what needs to happen so that your flow, again, water, feels, again, water, like an unhustle. It's like getting into the flow of the waters. So how can you make sure that it fills your reserves instead of draining them? I would say your chalice is kind of what was coming in, but it's all water flowing with water. Okay, who chose the blueberries? Just hilarious. Sorry, I'm cracking myself up. Ooh. If you chose blueberries, you get raw intention, the number 22. So this is the feel of all feels. It's like, what do you feel in your inner world and what do you feel in your outer world? And when these inner and these outer feelings merge, we do know where we do and do not belong because we feel it in both worlds. If that makes sense. But raw intention with a raw 22, I have this in my chart, but this is intention brought to life. It's the wild power. This is like the keepers of the wild, the Wedame, savage love, divine intervention, powerful inspiration, literally channeling messages directly from source, divine energy, an ancestor even. So are you holding onto the details too tightly, not allowing source to intervene? Your intuition, are you missing opportunities? Maybe you're getting stuck in your own narrative, your own story. Or are your emotions unchecked? Maybe you're sabotaging your own personal efforts. So intention can be raw or it can be refined. It can be like metal, raw metal, right? Unrefined, or yin metal. So it's like refining our intentions and getting it polished to perfection and tuned into marketing, a resume, creating a vision board. It's always like these tinted little layers of our own perception, our own perspective, or knowing that like raw attention it's wilder than that. It's pure, it's unrefined, it's actually authentic, right? Being authentic. And this is like in your mind's eye, it's the mother or the father who lifts the car with their bare hands to save the child, right? Because the power is raw. It doesn't even ask any questions. It just does it and it's like, so it is. So by virtue of simply being human, manifest, we have this wild natural magic inside of us. So you may be spending too much time filtering your raw power as a way to fit in, right? Or as a way to be who others wish us to be or want us to be. So this is all about unleashing our pure intention, our raw power, our authenticity. We're going to radiate so much innate magic that we can move the mountain that we tell the secrets to, mind you. And just allow spontaneity and divine love, the essence of the divine, to be the guiding light, to be the power, and just pay attention to the whims, the desires, impulses, passions, and inclinations. And if you notice any unwanted emotion kind of bubbling through, surfacing, like anger, sadness, fear, usually guilt sometimes, simply be with it, hear them, notice them, muse about them, and actually ask them, why are they present? And they're going to more than likely, point you to a much deeper need in your waters that sounds something like, I am seen, I am loved, I am accepted, and more importantly, I am safe. Sometimes we don't recognize that we are safe, but remind yourself that you are all of those things and really so much more, bigger, and draw your power from there, like wield that in. So it's like, what are your wild, unkept intentions calling into your life, and what needs to be heard? And can you work with them, be mindful of them, and to build the life of your dreams? Like, one way of channeling raw intentions is to kind of do some automatic writing, if you will. You kind of ask the question to the universe. You get a pad of paper, if you're me, or Post-it notes everywhere, blank page, whatever. Doesn't really matter. And be curious, questioning your heart and just allowing the messages to literally stream in from your unconscious mind and just flow onto the pages. Just write, doodle, shift, whatever that looks like. And don't do it from a sacred space with no judgment, and kind of sit with what streams in. Okay, here comes my tune. Okay, who chose strawberries? Strawberry fields forever. Okay, this is number 27, takes us to heaven, the 2 and the 7. So this is what we feel and what we sense. This is the moon and Neptune. For me, it's trusting my intuition. I have a sacred altar in the universe, acting on my divine interconnected waves, what I feel and what I sense. But what do you really want? X marks the spot, right? So this is about finding clarity and purpose, uncovering why we do what we do, even defining our trajectory, like focusing on the focal point, moving forward, and more importantly, enjoying the journey, feeling our future results today, knowing that they are literally coming to us, the bounty, the moon, and being able to discern between what others want for us and what we truly authentically want for ourselves, really. What our soul is asking us to do, tuning into our intuition, guidance from angels, our guides, spirit, gatekeepers, the guardians of the galaxy. So in a message for self-care, it's reminding us that maybe we're working too hard for an abstract idea, not knowing when we've reached our goal, right? Sometimes we miss the joy of the moment in the now. I've witnessed this, other people sometimes, the humor, just feeling lost, maybe confused, even not feeling fulfilled or being unsure of where you're even headed or an opportunity. So it's just about realigning our life purpose with our soul purpose. So literally, what do you really want? Really, beyond the parameters of what they tell us is possible or what's likely, and beyond any constraints of time and money. Like, what do you really want, regardless of your current situation, regardless of what you wanted yesterday? What's that big, sacred, otherworldly dream that stares back at you when you allow yourself to indulge in some magical thinking, some otherworldly thoughts? So if it seems like the dream is too far away, too far-fetched to accurately conjure up in your mind's eye, your third eye, then you've got some work to do because this journey, your spiritual and creative trajectory towards your what with your why is like pulling. It's your life, right? This is your story. So it's time to really ensure that you are enjoying it, that all of your efforts are along their way. They're all coagulating and working together to build that ideal reality that your heartfelt choices are within your heart. So be mindful that you're not toiling away, drilling away. I'm back to the garden with the tiller, tilling away on just tiny, superficial, safe versions, to keep you safe, protected, that you could never bring your soul the joy that it authentically desires. So just be mindful, be aware of spending energy building something that will never be enough, heartfelt. Instead, define what success means to you and know how you feel when you've reached that goal. Like, what do you truly desire? So only by clearly defining it can we finally see the path that's actually organically going to take us there naturally. So how does success in your life help others, and what does that even look like? What exactly does success look like to you, right? Is it abundance, prosperity? Is it joy? And how does it feel, our feelings? So clearly defining our goal as a feeling or as an experience really helps us to understand what we are working so hard for. So it's like naming what we want, breathing it in, feeling its presence in our chalice, our heart, writing it down. So how will you know when you've reached your goal? Because you're going to feel it and you're going to sense it and you will take the action to authentically create it, right? So I love this. I love all of them, actually. I thought they were all great self-care messages for our day. But the universe is working in our favor if we allow. And the moon is in the high degrees of Sagittarius, feeling the streams of adventure. Jupiter's in Aries, so we're committing to a new character and a belief in our heart. So we're taking these action, once we do that, to feel different inside of us, believing in ourselves, to change and shift our emotional foundation, our feelers, feeling a new belief streaming in, optimism bubbling in the springs, the earth garden. That's what I keep having these nice visions. But I mean, my Uranus is stationing on, it's our Uranus, by the way, but it's stationing on my solar eclipse. So things seriously feel different for me. But with the Earth Star online today, we've got actually quite a few online the earth star, root center, our sacral, and our heart. So it's like feelings are coming or bubbling like the earth spring, the browns, the tones of the earth, the sacral, tones of oranges, reds, rooting our feelings in the streams of the earth, the star that we are. This is lower frequency, which is okay. Don't be all lower frequency in the realms of the energy centers. So just surrounding ourselves with streams of feeling our inner peace and radiating peace to the outer garden, bringing our manifestations to fruition. I would probably use the seed sound of our sacral, just activating the voom channel. It's like when you rev up a car, voom, voom. So it's as if we are being initiated. This transformation begins to integrate as we flow into a new action to take on the rise of the full moon. So how often do you tend to your feelings? I mean, I need to continually set my foundation, my emotional field, protecting my foundation, my boundaries, holding my virtues. I talk about them all the time. Peace, joy, love, happiness, and integrity. That's just to sink the dill. Plus, I throw in compassion, patience. It's this cosmic soup or soul of ingredients, if you will. So I would affirm that I am initiating an action of creating a habit that really nurtures my day-to-day feelings, just streaming the feels. It's time to feel differently. And when we shift our inner world, the outer world is actually different too. So what we actually or authentically be is what comes, or not. Sometimes even if we aren't authentic, what we are being, doing, or having is what comes. So it's like, what am I being and doing and creating in order to have? That's kind of the opposing streams here. So with that, thanks for tuning in. This was a little long, but I'm at the 41, from the 11:11 to the 41. Make it a magical day, and Ashe. I'll see you tomorrow.